Bonjour à tous. Today at sundown marks the beginning of Ramadan. For many Muslim Canadians, the coming month will be different than normal, with iftar online and virtual Friday prayers. But that won't change what this special time is all about: generosity, compassion, and service to others. Across the country, Muslim Canadians are on the front lines of the fight against COVID-19 as nurses, doctors, and essential workers. So thank you, and Ramadan Mubarak. Aujourd'hui, les musulmans canadiens vont souligner le début du Ramadan. Le mois qui vient ne se déroulera pas comme d'habitude, mais les valeurs de compassion et de générosité qui sont au cœur de cette tradition sont plus importantes que jamais. Partout au pays, les musulmans canadiens sont aux premières lignes de la lutte contre la COVID-19, des médecins, des infirmières, des travailleurs essentiels. Merci et Ramadan Mubarak. This will be another difficult day for many families and communities across the country. We're all thinking about those in Nova Scotia who are grieving the loss of loved ones, friends, and neighbours. Yesterday, I spoke with the families of some of the people we lost. They shared stories about their loved ones and their dreams and plans. In the face of such tragedy, their strength is remarkable. I spoke also with RCMP members from the area, and on behalf of all Canadians, I thank them for their service. And I spoke with some local mayors as well to express my condolences. For Torontonians, I know it'll be a hard day as well, as we remember the victims of the van attack on Yonge Street 2 years ago. Together we mourn, and together we heal. Because just as Canadians were there for each other 2 years ago, we're there for each other today. Across the country, people are hanging tartan, blue ribbons, and scarves from windows to honor those who died. With acts of kindness and donations, people are standing with families who are grieving. And tomorrow, with the virtual vigil, we will all have the chance to show the people of Nova Scotia that they are not alone. Pour les gens de la Nouvelle-Écosse, aujourd'hui sera une autre journée difficile. Face à une telle tragédie, ils font preuve d'une force incroyable. Et les citoyens de Toronto vivent également une journée difficile. Aujourd'hui, on se souvient des victimes de l'attentat perpétré le long de la rue Yonge il y a 2 ans. Ensemble, nous vivons ces deuils et ensemble, on va guérir ces blessures. These are tough times, but there is reason to hope. When it comes to COVID-19, what we're doing is working. And to continue on the right track, we need to be thinking not just about the next weeks, but about the next months. We need medium-term and long-term solutions. On that front, I can announce today that we're taking another step forward. We're putting in place an additional $1.1 billion for a national medical and research strategy to address COVID-19. This plan has 3 pillars: research on vaccines and other treatments, supports for clinical trials, and expanding national testing and modelling. Let me start with the first pillar on research. Under this plan, we're investing close to $115 million for research into vaccines and treatments being developed in hospitals and universities across the country. This is on top of the funding we've already provided to support vaccine development in Canada. The second pillar of the plan is to make sure that once we have potential vaccines and treatments, we can test a wide range of options. Under this plan, we will invest over $662 million for clinical trials led by Canada. A vaccine is the long-term solution to this virus, but these drugs will take months to develop, test, fabricate, and roll out. So until we have something ready, we need to control the spread of the virus. And that's where the third pillar of this plan comes in. We're investing $350 million to expand national testing and modelling of COVID-19. This includes creating the COVID-19 Immunity Task Force. The task force will operate under the direction of a leadership group which will include Dr. David Naylor, Dr. Catherine Hankins, Dr. Tim Evans, Dr. Teresa Tam, and Dr. Mona Neener. We are bringing together top health experts and scientists from leading institutions across the country. Canada's best and brightest will be working on serology testing, blood testing, to track and understand immunity to COVID-19. They'll be looking at key questions like how many people beyond those we've already tested have had COVID-19, whether you're immune once you've had it, and if so, how long that lasts. Over 2 years, we will be testing at least 1 million Canadians as a part of this study. The findings of the research will help with everything from rollouts of a potential vaccine to determining which public health measures are most effective going forward. We will get valuable data, including disaggregated data, to understand the impact on vulnerable populations. And we will also leverage new and existing lab capacity for research. The better we understand this virus, its spread, and its impact on different people, the better we can fight it and eventually defeat it. While this vital research is happening, we're also staying focused on what we can do right now to control COVID-19 and get back to normal as soon as possible. Testing is key. We've now reached 20,000 tests daily, almost double where we were earlier this month. But testing must increase even further before we can reopen and restart our normal activities as a country. You've been doing your part by staying home and practicing physical distancing. It's working, and we can't afford to waste this progress. Aujourd'hui, j'annonce qu'on met en place une stratégie médicale et de recherche d'une valeur de 1,1 milliard de dollars pour lutter contre la COVID-19. Le premier volet de cette stratégie porte sur les vaccins et les traitements. On a investi près de 115 millions de dollars dans la recherche sur les vaccins dans les hôpitaux et dans les universités à travers le pays. Ça s'ajoute aux fonds qu'on a déjà alloués pour développer des vaccins ici au Canada. Le deuxième volet de notre stratégie consiste à s'assurer que lorsqu'on aura des vaccins et des traitements potentiels, on pourra tester plusieurs options d'utilisation possibles. On va donc investir près de 662 millions de dollars dans les essais cliniques. Et le troisième volet, c'est d'investir dans les tests pour modéliser la maladie. On est en train de mettre sur pied le groupe de travail sur l'immunité face à la COVID-19. Ce groupe de travail sera dirigé par le Dr David Naylor, la Dr Catherine Hankins, le Dr Tim Evans, avec l'appui de la Dr Tam et de la Dr Neener. Ils vont coordonner des tests sanguins qui vont nous aider à retracer le virus et à mieux comprendre comment on peut s'immuniser contre la COVID-19. Les conclusions de la recherche vont nous aider à faire plusieurs choses, que ce soit de rendre un vaccin accessible ou de déterminer quelles mesures de santé publique sont les plus efficaces et doivent être adoptées. Pendant qu'on mène cette recherche vitale, on continue de réfléchir à ce qu'on peut faire en ce moment pour contenir la COVID-19 et revenir à une vie normale aussi vite que possible. Les tests, c'est ce qu'il y a de plus important. On est rendu à environ 20 000 tests par jour à l'échelle du pays. Mais on doit continuer d'augmenter notre capacité à tester avant que la vie reprenne son cours. Right now, we're seeing terrible tragedies in long-term care facilities across the country. This is unacceptable. If you're angry, frustrated, scared, you're right to feel this way. We can do better. We need to do better. Because we are failing our parents, our grandparents, our elders, the greatest generation who built this country. We need to care for them properly. Canadians need to pull together. There have been requests for military assistance by both Ontario and Quebec, which of course we will be answering. Our women and men in uniform will step up with the valor and courage they have always shown. In the short term, we will be there with support so that provinces can get control of this situation. But this is not a long-term solution. In Canada, We shouldn't have soldiers taking care of seniors. Going forward, in the weeks and months to come, we will all have to ask tough questions about how it came to this. We will all have to do more to get through this terrible situation. En ce moment, on voit des tragédies épouvantables dans les CHSLD à travers le pays. C'est inacceptable. Si vous êtes fâché, frustré ou inquiet, vous avez raison de vous sentir comme ça. On doit faire mieux. Parce qu'on laisse tomber nos parents, nos grands-parents, nos aînés, les membres de la plus grande génération qui ont bâti notre pays. On doit s'occuper d'eux comme ils le méritent. Le Québec et l'Ontario nous ont demandé l'aide de l'armée. C'est ces demandes qu'on va accepter. Nos militaires iront prêter main forte comme ils le font toujours. Mais il ne s'agit pas d'une solution à long terme. Au Canada, ce n'est pas nos militaires qui devraient prendre soin de nos aînés. Au cours des prochaines semaines et des prochains mois, on va devoir examiner comment on en est arrivé là. On va tous devoir faire plus pour traverser ces situations qui est absolument terrible. Tout le monde y met du sien pour traverser cette période. On fait tous partie de la même équipe. Pendant que nous faisons notre part, je sais que tout le monde va faire sa part. C'est ensemble qu'on va s'en sortir. C'est ensemble qu'on va revenir en force. Merci.
Thank you, Prime Minister. We'll now go to the phone for questions. One question, one follow-up. Operator.
Thank you. Merci. First question, Althea Raj, Huffington Post. The line open.
Good morning. Yesterday you said you were going to continue working with the Finance Department and business associations to ensure that small businesses would get the support they need. Many self-employed individuals feel like they have been forgotten. They can't apply for interest-free loans because they have no payroll, and many have thousands of dollars in fixed costs every month, so the CRB changes really do nothing for them. They feel that your government has been more focused on employers and employees, and many face the real possibility of losing their businesses or going bankrupt. So could you tell us what changes you are envisioning for them?
As we said from the very beginning, we worked on measures to help as many people as possible. We brought in targeted measures to help people who'd lost a paycheck, including people who were self-employed. We've moved forward with a wage subsidy that ensures that people who can remain connected to their jobs while receiving 75% of their paycheck, up to $847 a week. We know that these are measures that got out quickly, are getting out quickly, and are broad and are helping millions of Canadians. But we also know that there are people who are falling through the cracks. That is why we continue to work with industry groups, with stakeholders, with MPs and community members across the country who are feeding us challenges and possible solutions. And of course, we are working with an extraordinary public service to deliver those solutions to Canadians.
Follow-up, Althea?
Okay, but that doesn't, well, that's your answer. Do you regret this patchwork approach regarding the CERB? It's clear that the need is a lot greater than the government anticipated when it drew up the program weeks ago, and I know that there are a number of people in your caucus who argued that it would have been far easier, and it would be far easier to give everyone who's lost income or lost the opportunity to earn income the ability to apply for help and just tax it back from those who perhaps didn't need it as much next year. I mean, did you make the right call, and are you so stuck on this current course of action that you will not deviate from it?
We knew from the very beginning that targeted support to the people who needed it was the best way to do it, and that's why we move forward with the Canada Emergency Response Benefit that has delivered benefits to over 8 million Canadians. Why we move forward with the Canada Emergency Wage Subsidy that is ensuring that people can stay connected to their workplace even if they're not actually doing the work anymore, so that we can bounce back quickly. But every step of the way, we've said we will continue to expand. We will continue to fill gaps. We never expected that we'd get it perfect from day one. Indeed, we knew we wouldn't. But we couldn't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. We needed to get things out as best we could, as quickly as we could, to help as many people as possible. And then we continue every day to make further announcements that fill gaps, that explain how we're going to help those people who aren't hit by the broad measures there to help. We will continue to work on making sure that everyone who needs help gets it.
Thank you. Next question, operator.
Thank you. Merci. Prochaine question, Hélène Buzetti, Le Devoir. À vous.
Oui, bonjour, M. Trudeau. J'aimerais revenir à l'annonce que vous avez faite hier pour les étudiants. Il y a en ce moment un manque de bras dans les CHSLD. On craint un manque de bras dans le secteur agricole cet été. Et il y a des observateurs qui commencent à craindre que votre mesure ne soit un désincitatif pour les jeunes à aller travailler dans des secteurs qui vont réouvrir cet été. Peut-être, par exemple, le commerce au détail, qui traditionnellement n'offre pas des salaires très élevés. Qu'en pensez-vous? Est-ce que la générosité de votre mesure pourrait engendrer cet été une pénurie de main-d'œuvre?
Les étudiants ont besoin d'aide. On reconnaît la situation de la COVID-19 frappe fort à toutes les générations et nous devons d'être là pour les aider. On a mis sur pied un programme qui va aussi développer des emplois pour les jeunes à travers le pays. On parle de 76 000 nouveaux emplois dans des secteurs ciblés qui vont pouvoir bénéficier de l'aide des jeunes. Je connais les jeunes Canadiens. Je connais les jeunes d'à travers le pays qui vont vouloir faire partie de la solution, qui vont vouloir pouvoir aider, contribuer à la relance économique de leur façon. Je pense que de s'assurer qu'ils aient l'argent pour pouvoir couvrir leur loyer, pour pouvoir payer leur épicerie, pour pouvoir être sûr de pouvoir retourner aux études à l'automne, c'est la bonne chose à faire. Et on va travailler ensemble pour s'assurer qu'on a la relance économique nécessaire. Mais je ne veux pas faire d'excuses d'avoir appuyé nos étudiants pendant ce moment difficile.
Et en question à ça, monsieur, les conservateurs, en fait, aujourd'hui, ont proposé que Ottawa crée un programme un peu similaire à celui d'emploi d'été, mais celui-là pour motiver les jeunes à aller travailler dans le secteur agricole. On sait qu'il va manquer de main-d'œuvre parce qu'il n'y a pas assez de travailleurs étrangers qui sont là et ce ne sont pas nécessairement en soi des emplois très attrayants parce qu'ils ne sont pas très payants. Est-ce que c'est une idée que vous trouvez intéressante et si oui ou non, pourquoi?
On voit à chaque année des jeunes qui sont intéressés par l'industrie agricole, par l'idée de retourner vers la terre. On a une génération extrêmement verte, intéressée dans ce qui est bio, organique, ce qui est agriculture. Je sais qu'il y a beaucoup de jeunes qui vont être intéressés. Il va y avoir des opportunités, une ouverture à les amener et on va créer des incitatifs et des programmes pour les diriger dans des secteurs utiles et importants. J'ai énormément confiance dans nos jeunes qui vont faire partie de la solution à cette crise par laquelle on passe.
Merci. Prochaine question, operator.
Thank you. Merci. Next question, Ryan Tumulty, National Post. Line open.
Yeah, morning, Prime Minister. I'm wondering, there are a number of U.S. states that are starting to ease restrictions, opening up businesses again, starting as early as tomorrow. I'm wondering if you're concerned about jurisdictions that are so close to Canada easing their restrictions so much, even while in some cases their virus numbers are still going up.
We have strong border measures in place to ensure that we're doing what we need to do to protect Canada. As provinces look at their own situation and how we can move forward on beginning to reopen our economy, I know that their decisions and our decisions will be informed by what is working and what is perhaps not working as well elsewhere in the world. Je sais que nous allons continuer d'avoir des mesures en place pour protéger nos frontières, pour assurer qu'on est en train de protéger la sécurité et la santé des Canadiens. Je sais que les provinces et le gouvernement fédéral, pendant qu'on réfléchit à quelles seront les étapes pour rouvrir l'économie, pour relancer l'économie, on va regarder attentivement ce qui a fonctionné et peut-être ce qui n'a pas fonctionné dans d'autres juridictions pour prendre les bonnes décisions.
Follow-up, Brian?
Yeah, I'm also wondering about the Federation of Canadian Municipalities is out today with a request for $10 billion in emergency funding because their revenues have fallen so steeply during this crisis. Are you starting to work with municipalities on a package for something like that?
We recognize that levels of government across the country, orders of government across the country are facing distinct challenges. We've had a number of conversations with the provinces on their financial challenges. And as we know, municipalities are governed by the provinces. We will continue to work with the provinces, but we'll also continue to work directly with municipalities to make sure that Canadians get the services they need, get the support they need. Regardless of the orders of government, we all serve the same people, Canadians, and we need to work together to be there for them. Okay. Nous allons toujours travailler pour être là pour les Canadiens qui ont besoin des services et de l'appui pendant cette situation difficile. Nous respectons les compétences des provinces par rapport aux municipalités. Nous allons continuer de travailler avec les provinces sur la question des municipalités et, dans plusieurs cas, avec les municipalités directement quand c'est approprié.
Thank you. One more question on the phone, please. Operator?
Thank you. Merci. Prochaine question, Émilie Bergeron, Agence QMI. À vous.
Oui, bonjour, Monsieur le Premier ministre. J'aimerais revenir sur l'aide apportée au Québec dans les CHSLD. Pouvez-vous clarifier, est-ce qu'on parle vraiment de l'envoi de 1000 militaires comme ça a été demandé? Et puis, vous parlez de leçons à retenir. Au niveau du Québec, qu'est-ce qui a été mal fait finalement à ce niveau-là? Parce que ça fait des années qu'on parle de problèmes dans les CHSLD.
D'abord, pour la demande d'assistance, comme on a répondu positivement aux 3 premières demandes que Québec nous a envoyées, on va répondre à celle-ci aussi. On est en train justement de travailler avec Québec pour voir exactement comment on peut aider de la meilleure façon. On a reçu la demande hier en soirée, donc on travaille avec eux pour coordonner la meilleure réponse dans les chiffres et dans les endroits nécessaires. Par rapport aux leçons qu'on a à apprendre, il va y avoir énormément de questions importantes à poser, à répondre dans les jours, les semaines et les mois et les années à venir sur comment on appuie nos aînés dans ce pays. Je pense que cette crise souligne qu'il y a des défis qu'il va falloir qu'on relève ensemble.
Un suivi?
D'accord. Et si je comprends bien, donc, votre réponse, on n'est pas fixé encore sur le nombre de militaires qui vont envoyer. On ne sait pas si ça va être 1000. Et aussi, vous avez parlé il y a plusieurs jours déjà de l'envoi de bénévoles et d'une contribution de la Croix-Rouge. Combien de personnes supplémentaires pourraient être envoyées à ce niveau-là?
On va être là pour aider. Les gens font face à une situation épouvantable et on va être là pour aider Québec à reprendre contrôle de la situation. C'est extrêmement troublant, c'est extrêmement désolant. On va être là avec des militaires comme on a déjà 350, je pense, militaires sur le terrain dans les CHSLD à travers le Québec. On va en envoyer d'autres. On va travailler avec Québec. On va aider avec des bénévoles, avec de la Croix-Rouge, tout ce qu'on peut faire, on va être là les uns pour les autres. C'est ce qu'on fait entre Canadiens. On est là les uns pour les autres en moment de crise. On va être là pendant cette situation difficile.
Hi, Prime Minister. Molly Thomas, CTV National News. The race for personal protective supplies allows for a way out of China. It's been 500 days since Canadians Michael Kovrig and Spavor were arbitrarily detained. Are you any closer to getting them released? And when was the last time they had a chance to meet with consular officials?
We have been working extremely diligently on the issue of Michael Spavor and Michael Kovrig, who have been detained for 500 days in China. This is something that we have taken seriously from the very beginning. I can highlight that the Minister of Foreign Affairs spoke to his counterpart, very recently to express our continued concerns and desire to see them released soon. The COVID-19 crisis has the Chinese system in a position of not allowing consular visits, but we have been assured that they are in a facility in a region that is not particularly affected by COVID-19, although we are continuing to press both for more details and for better access.
Also, Prime Minister, we've seen a spike in anti-Asian violence in different parts of our country. In BC, an elderly man with dementia was shoved out of a store by an assailant that brought up remarks about COVID-19. We now have a Conservative leadership candidate that is asking for Dr. Tam to be fired and is accusing her, the WHO and China, of being in cahoots. What is your message to Canadians as they see this?
Intolerance and racism have no place in our country. Canada has succeeded because of our diversity. It is one of our greatest strengths. And the millions of Canadians of all different backgrounds who are working together, many of them on the front lines to help their fellow Canadians, deserve better than this from all of us. We need to continue in our resolve to be an open, welcoming, respectful country. And I think all Canadians expect that of every politician. L'intolérance et le racisme n'ont pas leur place au Canada, certainement pas place dans nos discours publics. Notre pays est fort, pas malgré ses différences, mais à cause de ses différences. Et les gens de toutes sortes d'histoires et d'ethnies et d'origines travaillent les uns à côté des autres pour lutter contre la COVID-19, pour aider leurs proches et leurs concitoyens. Nous devons, pendant ces moments, de se rassembler et de ne pas accepter des propos intolérants.
Prime Minister Janet Silver, Globe News. With one meatpacking plant already closed in Alberta and the NDP in that province calling on 2 more to be shut down, I'm just wondering, what is the federal government doing to protect Canada's food supply from the effects of COVID-19? And are you worried about federal inspectors going into these plants?
We are, of course, very alert to the issue of food supply in Canada. Food security for Canadians is a continued essential priority. We will work with the agricultural industry. We are strengthening processes around the CFIB to ensure both protection for our inspectors and effectiveness in assuring the safety of our food supply and of the conditions in which workers find themselves. We will continue to work with provinces and various jurisdictions to ensure that we are making sure that Canadians get the food that they need.
And in terms of vaccines, you announced earlier funds for vaccine development. I'm wondering if your plan is to have vaccines manufactured here in Canada for Canadians.
We know that developing vaccines is a really important step, and that's why there are brilliant researchers working across the country in coordination and in collaboration with the international community as we all make efforts to develop a vaccine. But once we've developed a vaccine, whether it be in Canada or elsewhere around the world, we're going to need to produce it. And we will see the same kinds of pressures that we're seeing around obtaining PPE around the world to obtain vaccines, which is why part of the investments we're making today is to establish the capacity of developing vaccines and producing vaccines, mass producing vaccines here in Canada. Okay. Oui, la vaccination va être un élément essentiel de la piste de sortie de la COVID-19. C'est pour ça que nous investissons dans la recherche pour que les Canadiens fassent partie de cette recherche pour trouver un vaccin contre la COVID. En même temps, nous avons besoin d'assurer qu'on puisse les produire ici au Canada et c'est exactement ce qu'on va faire.
Bonjour, M. Trudeau, Louis Blouin de Radio-Canada. Le Québec commence à parler de possibles, éventuelles réouvertures de certaines régions. Vous avez la Saskatchewan tantôt qui va dévoiler son plan de réouverture de l'économie. L'île du Prince-Édouard parle de la mi-mai pour ouvrir certaines entreprises. À vos yeux, est-ce que c'est trop tôt? Est-ce que les provinces bougent trop vite?
Je pense que tout le monde veut savoir quand on va pouvoir lever certaines restrictions, quand est-ce qu'on va pouvoir reprendre un peu la vie normale. La réalité, c'est que d'ici le moment qu'on a un vaccin, on ne pourra pas parler de vie normale, mais on va pouvoir relâcher certaines mesures de façon appropriée tout en restant extrêmement vigilant et en continuant de faire énormément de tests de dépistage. Différentes provinces sont à différentes étapes dans leur lutte contre la COVID-19 et vont prendre des décisions appropriées. Du côté fédéral, on essaye de coordonner et d'assurer des principes partagés à travers le pays pour assurer une approche commune et des mesures qui vont être comparables à travers le pays, bien que les moments où ils vont être introduits vont varier de province en province.
En anglais.
Okay. We know that everyone wants to know when this is going to be over, when we're going to be able to get back to normal life. Well, until we have either a vaccine or significant treatments for COVID-19, we're not going to be able to talk about getting back to normal. But in the coming months, we will be able to loosen a number of the restrictions and rules that we have right now on personal mobility in certain sectors, on the economy. Different provinces are in very different postures related to COVID-19 and will be taking decisions that are appropriate for them. What we're doing at the federal level is attempting to pull together and coordinate all different provinces so that we are working from a similar set of guidelines and principles to ensure that Canadians right across the country are being kept safe as we look to those next steps.
Tantôt, vous avez dit qu'on fait à peu près 20 000 tests par jour actuellement et que ce n'est pas suffisant. Ce serait quoi votre cible pour qu'on puisse commencer à parler justement de réouverture en termes de tests de dépistage par jour?
La Dr Tam a parlé de 50 ou 60 000 tests par jour comme étant une cible importante. Il y en a d'autres qui disent que ça pourrait aller jusqu'au besoin du double de ça. On sait qu'on doit en faire beaucoup plus et c'est pour ça qu'on est en train d'augmenter le débit de dépistage et nos capacités de dépistage.
Prime Minister Julie Van Dusen, CBC. You've talked about the fact that it's unacceptable what's going on in Canada's seniors' homes. You've also discussed the idea of making sure people make more money in those homes, but that, of course, would be a short-term solution. In terms of a long-term solution, will you be talking to the premiers about putting seniors' homes under the Canada Health Act, which would set national standards and hopefully make sure that seniors don't go through such a terrible ordeal again?
I think there are going to be an awful lot of Canadians asking questions of all their all their politicians about what we're going to do to make sure a situation like this could never happen again. What COVID-19 has done has highlighted and brought forward failings in our system, in our country, where the people who take care of our most vulnerable are themselves extremely vulnerable economically. We need to do better. And there will be a lot of conversations that Canadians are going to demand and that politicians will have about what is the best way to ensure that we are properly protecting our elders.
On the issue of the vaccine, which you've said in the past could take a year to 18 months, will we have to wait for a vaccine to hug our family and friends who are outside of our bubble?
The process around reopening, the level of freedom we'll have to visit friends and to work and to go outside will depend on the decisions and the advice that scientists give us around how to keep ourselves safe. We know it may be a long while before a vaccine. There are discussions around treatments for COVID-19 that might work as well as a vaccine. I mean, we've been waiting for and looking for and searching for a vaccine for AIDS for decades now, and it still hasn't come. But there are treatments that mean quality of life for people with HIV have been massively improved. There are different ways of moving through. We will take the best ways we possibly can as we move forward. A vaccine, obviously, arriving soon would be the best solution. But we need to make sure we are exploring all different ways of ensuring that Canadians' quality of life and safety and protection is upheld in the best way we possibly can going forward. Merci beaucoup tout le monde.